Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor and glory to what is due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahshua, Bahashim, Hakadash. Giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahshua. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us truth. Salutations to the sincere brother out there who preaching this truth and edifying the brothers and sisters while I share the diligence. And salutations to the elect scattered abroad. Today, brother, I welcome back to today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shabbat Kadash with another lesson. Going into the news. And it's lucky for the if you hear noise in the background. But this is from the New York Times. It says classes over virus response intensified mid wave of state reopenings. And it says up here as businesses resurface after state shutdowns, so does this divisiveness. And let me just get that word right now. It says, see it at the top, a tendency to cause disagreement or hostility between people. This is transparency will enhance development rather than social. So it says a tendency to cause disagreement or hostility between people. And that's scriptural, man. And I'm going to get into the scripture or so in a minute after I read some of this. It says nearly a dozen states resumed portions of public life as a debate over the safety and timing of reopenings grew louder. This is from May 1st, 2020. Says Chicago, Texas lifted stay-at-home orders for its 29 million residents. Hair salons in Maine welcomed customers back inside. In Alabama, clothing boutiques flung open their doors. It says nearly a dozen states tented. I don't know that word. I don't know how to say it. Tentatively subject to further confirmation, not definitely. Nearly a dozen states tentatively returned to public life on Friday, the first mass reopening of businesses since the coronavirus pandemic brought America to a standstill 6 weeks ago. But there were clashes across the country over how, when, and even whether it should be done. Partisans battles flared in Illinois and Michigan where protesters demanded the Democratic leaders loosen restrictions. The skirmishes there and elsewhere revealed political dividing lines and geographical differences, but also something more basic. A vast and widely varying range of personal views about what the country should do. So you see, it said protesters demand they lift the sanctions. It says Michigan governor reinstates state of emergency as protests ramp up. The governor's move were in response to the public-led legislators' refusal to extend their original emergency declaration. I don't know what this says. Let's watch this real quick.
Doesn't matter what crisis there is, you only have the power that you have, and you can't take more. And if people are going to die, I'm sorry, you only have as much power as you have.
On liberties that have been trampled upon. Thank you so much for that.
It's like, let me rewind this a little bit. Let me see something.
On liberties that have been trampled upon. Thank you so much for that.
I don't know what it meant by the vaccine is in the boxcar. But let me just pause this real quick.
Arsenal.
And underneath the protesters, some of them armed, gathered at the state capitol in Lansing, Michigan, after the governor reinstated a state of emergency during the coronavirus pandemic. This was May 1st. I'm gonna read. You can read the rest of this for yourself. This is in the New York Times. But you see that they were on, like they said, do it that one spirit. It's seditions among men. I'm gonna read a little bit more of this. Skip down right here. It says the lifting of stringent rules marked a significant new phase in the country's response to the coronavirus, and came even as confirmed virus cases nationally continue to grow. While the growth rate of the virus has slowed in places like New York and California, new outbreaks are intensifying in Massachusetts, Nebraska, and Wisconsin, among other states. In Texas, some businesses were permitted to open on Friday, a day after the state reported its highest single death toll from the coronavirus with 50 fatalities. This is much as at stake in reopenings, experts say. It's clearly a life or death sort of level decision, said Dr. Larry Chang, an infectious diseases specialist at Johns Hopkins University. If you get this wrong, many more people will die. It's as simple as that. After a period in which 9 in 10 residents in the United States were told to stay at home, several of those orders expired on Thursday, paving the way for certain businesses and public spaces to reopen, including in Alabama, Idaho, Maine, and Tennessee. It says, we've been cleaning and sanitizing that store for a week now, Mary said of her women's clothing. We cannot let this business die. On Fridays, the doors were open. Stickers had been placed 6 feet apart on the pavement outside the boutique. I'll get this paragraph out here, then get into some scriptures. It said, if the movement to reopen America began with a trickle last week, when Georgia and other states drew condemnation for moving too quickly, the latest developments seem to represent an opening of the floodgates. By next week, nearly half of the states will have begun reopening their economies in some significant way. At the same time, portions of the country, including much of the West Coast and Northeast, remain shuttered. Now, I'm going to get this. It says, see which states are reopening and which are still shut down. You gotta have a subscription for this. It's like, let me try it like this. I ain't gonna let me do it. Damn, Esau, we gonna get them like this. I got my thing scrolled all the way down, but so it said it ain't gonna let me read it because I need a subscription, I guess. Even though it says right here, even though it says no subscription required, I ain't gonna go through all that right now. Come on, let me get this. So I gotta scroll it all the way down. I got Trick Esau. So this was updated May 1st. It's partial reopening. Order lifted or reopening soon. Shut down or restricted. So you see Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Arkansas, Kentucky, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan. All the yellow is shut down still or restricted. The dark green is partial reopening. And then you have the light green, which is they lifted all the sanctions. Which, that's Nebraska, Kansas, I guess that's Montana, Indiana, West Virginia, and Florida. Damn, Esau tricked them. But yeah, that's what I wanted to get right there. But you see that then they in a division, they got that do as that one spirit on them. So this is get this one first. It says 2 Ezra 9 from the top. He answered me then and said, measure the other time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and the end is manifest. So you see uproars of the people. They going against the government, saying reopen, and that just proves that the Most High is about to visit the earth which He made, and that we are in them times. We are so close. That's 2 Ezra 15. Just get to the point. Verse 16, 2 Ezra 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among people and invading one another. And just get that word sedition real quick. Just for edification, is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority or a state or monarch. So they rebelling against authority. They protesting. They protesting when the states reopen, that do as thou one spirit. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what it is, man. They don't care about what the president talking about, what their government talking about, what Fauci's talking about, what the governors, the mayors talking about. None of that. They want America back open so they can continue to do what they want. Get this one and end it right here. This is Luke 11 verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And this kingdom is divided, man. They don't know what to do. And a house divided against a house falleth. Verse 18, if Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub. So you see that Satan's divided against himself, man. The kingdom's not going to stand much longer. It's just a matter of time. But that's all I want to get. Like I say, Kah Halal Imla, Yahweh Shimshah, Bashar, giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh Shimshah, the bonus to the elders and apostles, the great millstone who taught the truth. Shalom to the same brother out there who preaches truth and edifying the brothers and sisters who are studying diligence. And shalom to the elect scattered bride, Lord willing, this video was edifying to the spirit, to the body, to the fold. Until next time, Kwam Yashala, Shalom, I'm Barbal Ball.